own project. Right now we come working closely together. Because based on the national social economic development plan of the country, so we have one goal, and all the ministry need to work
to achieve that goal. To achieve that goal.
That's why every sector have to sit up and work together.
I understand that. Central planning, and there is a common goal. But my question is,
all the planning should become for the local
for the country. But in the planning process, when the planning happens, the planning is done and budget is allocated and goals are set. Then according to those goals, then different regions or different parts or different states, they will be given certain quantities, targets to be achieved. Now, otherwise, if different people will not contribute, the central goal will not be really achieved. So that there will be targets. So you have to achieve this much, you have to achieve this much, otherwise you cannot achieve that. So that's the question I am asking. So in any centrally planned process, targets are necessary. Targets will be there, whatever the name you give it. The target is a natural, inevitable outcome, consequence of a centrally planned process. In any centrally planned process, there will be target. You are bound to have targets. So, different departments having their own respective targets, and they are in a hurry to achieve those targets. There is no coordination, and so there is no convergence. Convergence does not happen because as long as different departments behaving as different independent. Why governments cannot handle development? Government machinery employees, they are trained to maintain rules and regulations. Government employees are trained to maintain rules and regulations, follow procedures. Right? Am I right there? Are you getting me? You can get me? Government employees are trained. Anybody who joins government, he will be given training. And what's the training? What are the rules and what are the procedures? What are the government norms? They have to follow norms. They have to follow procedures. They have to preserve norms and protect laws. Right? So preservation, protection, maintenance, following the existing procedures, existing norms, protecting existing laws, that is their mandate, right? It is what is government. But what is development? Development is questioning existing laws, questioning existing norms, questioning existing practices, changing existing practices. Development is basically changing everything what exists. But government is protecting whatever exists. Development is questioning and changing whatever exists. Don't you see any contradiction there? Don't you see any conflict? Development is a change process. Development is a change process. Government is to maintain status quo, to maintain what is existing, to protect what is existing. So how an organization like government, which is trained to protect the status quo, to protect the existing, can lead development, can lead change. Development is leading change. Development is leading change, Is government equipped to lead change?
I think that the government want to be changed, but it depends on the thinking of the government.
Yes.
The thinking. If you have a great view, you can change everything. But you have a bad view, you cannot small thing. I go back the three questions. You say what will focus on, and I think we should focus on education, because education is very important for everybody. And when you have a son or a daughter, they have a good education, you can control. You will have self-confidence, and you can don't worry about them. They can go abroad and they
state and government are like, in your example, they are like our parents, right? State and government is like our parents. They want the children to develop. They want children to develop.
Yes.
One important means for this development is education. They want their children to get educated.
Yes.
Okay. But education, what does education do? What happens? Because of education, what happens? Children become independent. Children become independent. They start thinking independently. They start getting new ideas. They start to develop their own dreams. They start to think about their own future independently. And their dreams, their plans start different from the dreams and plans of parents after some time. Because of education, people start thinking independently, differently from their parents, and children start thinking differently. How parents react? Generally, how parents react?
They do not accept.
It is difficult for parents to accept, even though they are the people who wanted the development of the children, they are the people who initiated the education process, they are the people who wanted their children to grow, but when they really grew, when they really became independent, when they, because of education, when they got new ideas, then parents try to stop them. Parents try to stop the children. Parents want to guide them. Parents want to control them. Right? So this is the nature of parents and this is the nature of the government. Governments and states also behave similarly. Not with bad intention.
Okay,
Not with bad intention. Parents are not bad here. Parents are worried. Governments are also worried. States are also worried. They do not have that kind of a confidence on people. Like parents do not have confidence in children, governments also do not have confidence in people, community. So they want to guide, they want to control, they want to determine, they want to always to have the decision making process, power.
But if you know something like in a famous sentence, something like you have to accept it and you have to try to find out a right word. But we have to try and don't hope anyone can help you. And it depends on depending on thinking. You will need to teach your son and your daughter. And you want to vote a government, you need a good citizen. And you have a good citizen, you need education, good education. Maybe you cannot teach for every children on the country, but you can teach for one talented person. And he can change government, he can change our country. In my country, you know Ho Chi Minh. Then he is very famous, he is very excellent. He one citizen, but he made many things for my country. And I hope if you can everything, you can teach for one children or one child, and he can change the country. You can hope.
Yeah. No, education for all, health for all. These are universal goals. Like governments are must there. Without government's education for all, health for all cannot be achieved. I am talking about individual household development process. When we come to individual household family development process, then lot of autonomy is required by the family. Nobody at the central location, nobody at the government level can decide what is good for the family.
Yes.
As far as education is concerned, as far as health is concerned, there are universal standards. Health, education, nutrition security, food security, health security. These are all universal standards. So only governments can have that kind of a money, only governments can handle this kind of infrastructure, only governments can implement such large-scale programs. There is no question about it. But as far as the development process of individual households and families, then no government can know what is good for a family. No government official, however intelligent he is, however a good person he is, he or she cannot understand the needs of the household and the family. So there cannot be there is no possibility of any central planning for a household development. Is it possible?
But in our social government, they can understand what are the citizens want, but they ignore them. There is also too many things for benefit for them, and car or building or money for them, and they ignore the student what they want. And we have to accept. In many countries, it's the same.
No. Do you want to give that autonomy to the citizen, or you want to give that initiative to the government?
They ignore them and they just take money. Yeah, and we have to accept them, and maybe we try to break, and it's not all break. It's maybe a little success. Are you okay? Because you can in China, in Vietnamese, or in American, it's the same. But we know many of we know a little thing about our country or about my country.
In your country, definitely there must be development programs initiated and implemented by the government. There is a rural development program.
You can speak more slowly. You can speak slowly.
There must be, in your country, the government must be implementing development programs, no? Different development programs initiated by your government. Your government is not implementing any development program?
I think it's program of my country, and I don't want to say topic because.
No, I'm asking.
Yeah.
In the villages, for villages,
You can write.
for the village development.
Sorry, you can write in the box and I answer the questions. Development rural, but the citizen want something, so government support for another thing. We say we're building the market or building school, but the citizen don't need it and they don't use it. Very waste money, waste time when the government do it.
So government is giving, but
Yeah.
people are not using it.
Don't
Using it properly. That's what you're saying.
Because the government, if you can change, the government give you a building, but the citizen don't want building.
Why?
Why? You don't know why. This depends on the
Because
citizens of the country.
because people have not asked for it.
Asked but not success.
Who asked for it? People have asked for it.
People?
Citizens, people have
Yes,
asked.
citizens.
Who demanded that?
They meeting or they ask with the government, but because I think that maybe the government ignore or the government don't understand, they just support with another way.
So there is a communication gap between the government and the people. That's what you're saying. What government is saying, people are not understanding. What people want, government is not understanding. There is a communication gap. That's what you're saying.
Just maybe we need to sit and talk together.
They have to. What I am saying, there is a communication gap between the people and the government. Is it right?
Hello, Martin, and you say correct.
I'm asking whether that's the situation. That's the situation.
Okay.
That's the situation, yes. That is the situation everywhere. That is the situation everywhere. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
This is a common problem.
just to back to my first comments. Because we have the mentality, we have the know-how to do on any project, the technology that we have. But to get the ownership, it is a must that we must involve the community into our process. Unless that is achieved, then the ownership of this project.
I will write this. I will write what you have said. Process. That's what you say. That's right. Development is our process, and community is living somewhere, and we have to bring them, we have to involve them in this process. That's what you are saying.
Not only to involve them, we have to involve them also engage them.
It is our process.
Ours.
It is still our process, not community's process. Got my part?
Because,
It is still our process, and we are trying to engage and involve the community so that it participates more and more in this process.
You're saying that government is a policy making.
Government is
It's the policy and he can implement the change.
government
It's more on the policy.
is policy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the government itself cannot implement development because development is a change.
Change
Policy of the
process.
government. Change process.
Change process.
Who then can implement the,
Who should implement?
who should implement the
That's you're asking me that question?
Yes.
That's a question I am trying to answer. That's a question I am trying to find the answer. Government can decide the policy, yes. We are all agreed that. There is simply no doubt about it. Government will make the policy because in any democratic government, in any democratic political system, the policy making is always given to government or the parliaments or whatever. There are legislatures will make the policies. It's a democratic principle. So policy is definitely with the government. But who has to implement it? Who has to design a program out of that policy? Because policy itself is not a program. You have to design a program out of the policy. So there comes the designing, and then comes implementation, then comes monitoring or evaluating, monitoring and evaluation, and of course learning, and of course improving this program. Designing a program, implementing it, monitoring and evaluating the process, and learning from that process and improving. So this all is a cycle, it's a learning cycle. Who does that? Government definitely does the policy, it gives the policy guidance. But who does the rest of the things?
Government.
Government. So policy is also government and this part is also government. That's what is being happened. For the past 50-60 years, government, because there was nobody, so government is doing the policy and government is also doing the development. Government itself is trying to implement development programs through various line departments or through various agencies. Through departments or through some agencies. Government itself is trying to implement. That is the paradigm in which we are all living. Not only policy, even in all these things government was playing the cardinal role or the paramount role in all these. Now there is a shift in that paradigm. Now there is a change in the paradigm. That's what is the new paradigm that we are